Hello everyone, and this is my review for WWE's 2014 Survivor Series, and just right off from the get-go with a promo with Vince, Stephanie, Triple H, and John Cena. Though a good promo between them was completely unnecessary. It didn't really add anything, any other type of intrigue into the main event match itself. It was kind of just there, almost, basically them trying to kill time. And, when you only have 5 matches promoted for the show at that time, you got to find some way of killing time. And honestly, they did do that with a lot of promos in this one. I will say a lot of the show had some ups and downs. It had a lot of promo time in it as well. But otherwise, matches-wise, I felt they were relatively solid. They weren't horrible matches on the show, and they weren't horrible matches on the show for the most part. Them starting off the show with the Fatal 4-Way Tag Team title match, I thought was a good way of going with it. Always a good way of starting the show with a championship match, and a match that you're pretty much guaranteed high energy, high level action going on in the ring at any given point in time. No, there wasn't a lot of build to this match, but you were expecting a good match in this one, and you did get that. You had all the high flying antics with the Usos and Los Matadores, the typical characters with Star and Goldust, and how Miz and Damon Mizdow had been working with their characters at that time. So it did mishmashing them all together into one led to a really good match. I'm glad in the end they decided to go with the whole Miz and Damien Mizdow getting the tag team titles here. I think this could work out in the end, especially if they are looking for a Mizdow turn into a face and going back to Damien Sandow as a face in some way, shape, or form down the road. This is a good way of doing it. Have them have some kind of success as a team, and then eventually it will break down, and then you'll get the turn at some point in time. So overall, fun match to watch. I'm glad they went with the Miz and Damien Mizdow in this case. I think it was a good way of going with it. The elimination tag match with the Divas, it was an okay match. Again, no build to this at all. It was just kind of there to be there. So in this case, in order to get anything out of this match, you had to have some good action inside of it. And they did an okay job. It wasn't anything special by any stretch of the imagination, but it was what it was. There was no build to it whatsoever. So what can you say? This leads into the Bray Wyatt and Dean Ambrose match, and man, I will say this was a fun match, a lot better than I was expecting. I liked the build to the match, but I wasn't really expecting all that good of a match between the two of them. But they delivered. I believe they delivered leaps and bounds. The spots that they were going for, they were definitely going. They were definitely playing to each other's characters really well. I liked how, you have Bray Wyatt trying to say that it didn't have to come to this. They could have ruled the world together by joining forces, and of course Dean Ambrose, just being the complete lunatic that he plays all the time, came off really well. I like the different mannerisms that Dean Ambrose did during the match, even mimicking Bray Wyatt in certain areas as well. I thought this match just came off really well, and I was alright with the DQ finish, because honestly I wouldn't mind seeing more matches between the two of them. Why have a clean finish quite yet with them, and let them continue on feuding, which they are going to do. They hinted at the end of the match with a tables, ladders, and chairs match, and then later on the show they did announce that to begin with. So overall I was satisfied with this match, and I'm looking forward to seeing more between the two of them here in the very near future. And this one brings me to the the Adam Rose and the Bunny, and Slater Gator match, which was made backstage with a segment earlier in the show. Basically, this match was just there to further the tensions between Adam Rose and a potential heel turn with his eventual Rosebuds and him going into a more heel-esque role down the line. I mean, for the most part, I'd never really cared about the Adam Rose character, but in the terms of how they're building this story, they're doing a slow burn with him fully going heel. It is somewhat enjoyable where they're going with this right now. Hopefully hopefully they'll find the right time to turn him heel so they can kind of get rid of this whole Rosebuds deal with him and maybe move him on to a different character down the road. So we'll see where they actually go with that one. You had a couple backstage segments with both of the teams. You expected this throughout the entire show. You had one with Team Cena, which was an okay promo and everything. It was what you basically expected. Cena's saying he's going to do everything in his power to make sure that these guys weren't going to be fired, everything in that area. And they got fired up, and then Triple H giving his awe-inspiring speech to his team, getting them fired up going into the match. And, both promos were effective for what they were. I liked the Team Authorities promo a lot better than the Team Cena one, but also Triple H I feel is a better promo than John Cena anyway. So it was more expected to be a better promo to begin with. The match with Nikki Bella and AJ. Basically where I thought they were going to go with it. This. I thought they would at least allow it to have a little bit more time for a match. But it seems, they went with the whole Brie Bella kind of turning heel without really saying she was turning, or, fully showing that she was turning heel. And then kind of giving that homage to what happened to Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania 28 by her kissing AJ and causing the distraction and causing her to lose the Divas Championship. But the only weird thing about it was the fact that it was just... It was also kind of like the WrestleMania 28 match itself there, too, with him and Sheamus. It was just an extremely short match. So it was what it was there. Rumor mill is that AJ's leaving the company, so I guess this is probably the easiest way of getting her out if she is leaving, or if it's just another way to continue the storyline between them going further along. Maybe she'll be fighting both of them now at this case if she's still sticking around the company. So we'll see where they actually go with that, or if there's going to be anything after tonight with that in any way, shape, or form. The Roman Reigns promo, like I said, there was a lot of promos on this show. The Roman Reigns promo, basically giving an update on his injury status, which is what they've been doing for the last couple months anyway. Honestly, this promo between them, I think, is probably one of his better promos. I actually enjoyed it. He showed pretty good energy behind the microphone this time around, and it just came off a lot better than most of his other promos had. It seems like he may be working on his mic skills a little bit while he's been out. We'll see once he gets into the live crowd and has to cut a promo of some kind down in the future. So overall, this promo I felt was it was a pretty good one, but it was exactly what we've been seeing the last couple of months. He's been just giving an injury update. This leads into the main event, which was Team Cena versus Team Authority, and I'll have to say there was a few things in there that I expected. Especially how Rusev was going to get eliminated. You expected him to get eliminated by DQ or countout because they weren't going to have him get pinned or submitted in this match. They're not ready to have that happen. So he did get counted out in the match. Sorry, I'm battling a little bit of a cold here, so bear with me a little bit on that. And that was definitely one of the things that I was expecting throughout, was how Rusev was going to get eliminated. He was going to get eliminated by counter or disqualification. So that was one of the things I expected. I did not expect them to go with the super quick elimination by Big Show knocking out Mark Henry. That was a little bit of a wrinkle in there. I kind of liked it because they built that up. They built it up pretty well. You had both Mark Henry and Big Show about ready to start the match. You had Triple H firing up Mark Henry, and he just runs right into the punch. I felt that came off really good. In the grand scheme of things, it came off really good. Wasn't really expecting them to go that route that quickly in the match. The turn of Big Show on Team Cena, I actually like that. I like the aspect behind it because, they had him actually turn on John Cena. It wasn't like he turned on Dolph Ziggler or Eric Rowan by knocking one of them out. He actually knocks out John Cena, gets him eliminated, and then eliminates himself, leaving Ziggler in that 3-on-1 almost impossible situation in the end. And, they played it up so well with near fall after near fall of Ziggler, almost losing the match, and then sneaking out a victory over Kane, and then eventually sneaking out a quick pin over Luke Harper, which led into, and the entire thing at that point, the crowd was getting into it. It felt like there was just complete chaos going on, but it wasn't really. For the most part, until after Harper and Kane were eliminated, chaos wasn't really happening. It was just one-on-one in the ring. But it felt like just complete chaos was about to erupt in there. And as soon as the Seth Rollins and Dolph Ziggler portion of the match happened, and it's exactly what you expected. You got like near fall after near fall, close ones from Dolph actually pulling off the victory, and then eventually it's like, okay, hit the zigzag. He's gonna win. This is where Triple H interferes, and that's of course exactly what happens. And it just kept teasing the crowd more and more and more. And after at this point in time, personally, I would have expected. I had given up at this point on the rumor mill of Sting actually showing up on the pay-per-view itself. I was thinking, the storyline wise, this is the perfect spot for Randy Orton to come in and interfere and everything on that aspect after a couple referee changes and everything like that. But the fact that they have Sting come out during that main event, and also the aspect that they had Ziggler pull the comeback instead of having it be Cena in this case, I like that aspect because it kind of shows that they're trying to maybe go a different direction. Maybe they're going to be pushing Ziggler a little bit more, having him perform the comeback. Sting comes out to help, and potentially teases a match between him and Triple H somewhere down the line. I loved the ending to this match. It was a great finish. Love the crowd reaction to Sting coming out. And for anybody who has watched WCW and WWE and just the wrestling in general over the last 20-esque years, the moment of Sting walking out into a WWE arena for the first time is pretty significant on the aspect that it's never happened. It's been the one thing WWE fans have been wanting since WCW closed was for Sting to show up on a WWE program, and they get it right here, right now. And it made that, of course, made the crowd mark out. It kind of made me mark out in my chair at home. It was just a great ending, and of course now we get to see where they're going to go with who's going to be the actual authority figure now, because Team Cena wins with Dolph Ziggler making the comeback to win the match, and we'll see where they actually go with that. If they're going to kind of just make it like an anarchy thing, or somebody else just going to be named the general manager the next tomorrow night. We'll see where they actually go with that, and you have a decent potential build towards a Triple H and Sting match down the road. So We'll see if that's going to be the actual case. I know most people would want to see Sting versus The Undertaker, but in this case, they have something built up just in case that match with Undertaker doesn't happen. And I like the aspect that they're planning ahead just in case certain things can't happen in this case. So overall, I felt that the Survivor Series pay-per-view, it had its ups and downs. I felt like it had way too much promo time in there. Match quality-wise was pretty good. Was pretty good in most cases. You know, the opening tag team title match I felt was really good. The Divas elimination tag was okay. The Dean Ambrose Bray Wyatt match I felt was really, really good. Again, with Adam Rose and the Bunny versus Slater Gator it was all right. It was kind of there as comic relief. The way that they decided to go with the Nikki Bella AJ match, it works for what they were probably potentially going for there. And then just the overall Team Cena Team Authority match I thought was a really good match from top to bottom, and of course with the finish, it was just an absolutely great finish to the actual match. So overall, it was a pretty good show. Obviously, the Sting appearance makes up for any potential bad on this show, at least in my mind, because, you know, so many fans have been waiting for this moment for such a long time, and they finally get it here. So I'll go with that. This year's Survivor Series was a pretty good pay-per-view. So that's my review for 2014 Survivor Series, and I thank you guys for watching.